something, that's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression is all that I wanted. The foe and affection, I summon it double.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So I just want to give you guys some updates on the Mustang. As you saw, I was starting it earlier, so I did put a lighter weight battery in the car, and I've always been kind of weary of these batteries because I've never had good luck with them. People that I know haven't had good luck with them, and obviously there's way more expensive batteries, there's less expensive batteries, but I'm going to show you guys the one that I did and kind of the way that we did it. But I did have a problem on, was that Friday or Saturday? I think it was Friday actually. We had a problem with the battery, and this was my biggest fear. I even brought the stock battery and the stock battery mounting tab because I was afraid this was going to happen. But after one of the test passes, I was trying to mess with the watt box, just trying to adjust it, and just having the door open and adjusting the watt box and having it on, it didn't kill the battery completely, but it ran it down enough where it couldn't actually start the car. So we did have to actually jump the battery, and I was like, man, this is it. This is why I don't run lightweight batteries. But for some reason, all night after that and the next day, the battery is fine. And I even left on, I think I left the fog lights on or something like that overnight, and the car started just fine. So I don't know what actually was the cause of it, but I need your guys' help. Comment down below, because I need to keep a trickle charger around. I need to keep this honest trickle charger, because when I'm uploading tunes onto the N gauge, so when I'm uploading tunes onto the N gauge, it actually takes a total of 6 minutes to switch the tunes. So I definitely think that that 6 minutes for it loading a tune will kill the battery, because it's kind of cycling. It'll like cycle the computer on, which will cycle the fuel system on and off, and that will definitely kill the battery. So if you guys can comment down below some really good trickle chargers for this battery. It's not a lithium battery, it's one of the AGMs or whatever they're called batteries. But I did end up going with an Odyssey. This is a PC680. So I'll take you guys to the back here in just a second, but this black plastic piece is actually the bottom part of the original battery holder. So I'm going to show you guys in the back real quick. Okay, so this is actually the original battery holder. So this is the outside of it. So I needed a flat piece, and I didn't really have time to make one. Plus, the piece that goes underneath here kind of has like some waves to it, because the body isn't perfectly flat where the battery sits. You guys will know what I'm talking about if you've ever taken your battery out. But so anyways, what I want to do is cut the base out of this and use that for my battery, so that way it bolted up to the stock location, didn't have any problems with it. So I just took a Dremel. See, the edges are all raggedy, but I just took a Dremel and cut the sides off of that, and then I used that bottom piece, bolted it down to the stock location, which I'll go show you guys now. So you guys can see, like I said, this is the bottom piece, so it's just mounted in the factory location. I just essentially cut the sides off, and then this battery typically sits, it can sit any way it wants, but it typically stands up vertically. It's a non-spill battery, so there's nothing in there that can spill out. So what I did was I laid it on its side and had Joe make me this sweet little custom aluminum bracket. He just whipped this up in like 10 minutes, but I cut the pieces and he just welded them together. and then I just put a little screw through this one. So we made a tab here, piece of aluminum here, piece of aluminum across, and then these two aluminum pieces kind of just hold the battery from moving because they wrap around on each side. Anyways, and then he welded these together. But so I bolted that to the stock location, put the battery horizontal, and then because these Odyssey batteries, you can see they're like a super bright orange, I just took some carbon fiber vinyl wrap and just wrapped the top portion in carbon fiber vinyl. That way it didn't stick out as much. So when you look from back here, the battery doesn't really stand out to you. The only reason why I didn't paint this is because Joe wants to put some gussets down there just to make it a little bit more stronger. So I didn't paint it because we'd have to sand that paint off to weld to it and then repaint it. So I haven't painted this yet, but when this is black, it's gonna look super good. It'll kind of just hide the battery back there. But like I said, guys, I'm really weary of these small batteries. You can get like a Braille lithium like Joe has, but those are super expensive, and I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do with the battery, but I did want to lose some weight. So this battery saved us about 15 pounds. The factory one's about 30 to 35 pounds. This one's about 13, 14 pounds. So all in all, like putting the bracket back on, all that stuff, it pretty much saves you about 15 pounds, which is a good weight savings for under 200 bucks. You know, some of these Braille batteries can cost upwards of $1,100, $1,200 without a charger, because those you definitely have to keep on a trickle charger. I haven't had any problems with the battery besides that one time on Friday night, so I'm really interested to see how it goes, but I really want to put a trickle charger on it because there's no way I'm going to be able to load tunes without it draining that battery down. So, and the reason why is this car has a ton of electronics on it. It's got the watt box, it's got the smooth stage bump, which sometimes doesn't work. What else is wired? It's got you know, the triple pump fuel system, which has a ton of relays. We've got the air to water running off of it, the trans fan. There's a lot of little electronics in this car that are running off that small battery. So I don't want to chance it. This week in Oklahoma City, I'm still gonna bring my stock battery because I don't want to have to worry about it. But if you guys could comment down below a good trickle charger for these Odyssey PC680 batteries, I would really appreciate it. So you guys are probably wondering why I started the car. Well, I hadn't started the car until So you guys are probably wondering why I started the car. Well, I haven't started the car since Sunday when we got it off the trailer like around 3 o'clock. So I wanted to see if the car sat all night Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, if it would start on its own Wednesday. And it's been decently cold here. You know, it's already Wednesday, but the weather's back to like 55, 60 degrees. I started it last week when I first got the battery in, and it was like 35 degrees, but I parked the car in the front garage, so it does stay a little bit more warm in there, but it was able to start it. So I think it definitely has enough cold cranking amps. It's more of the fact if something's gonna sit and drain on the battery, kind of like the Tune. But I think it definitely has enough to start the car in cold weather. If you guys are wondering if you want one for yourselves, I kind of want to show you guys what I've been trying to work on to get this freaking trans temp thing working. Drawer, let me open drawer after drawer after drawer, I'll find it. Hey, did you think the tank thing went pretty fast this weekend? What do you think? Oh, not fast enough, huh? What? You want some? You want some? Go get some. Stay right there. Gotta get all your angles, girl. Okay, so here is the trans temp sensor. Set that down. So JPC actually recommended I get this fitting, which you can actually run a temp sensor into. You see it's got that little 1/8 inch NPT right there. So I can actually screw this fitting in. However, this fitting is too long and bottoms out. So I had to get a little adapter for it to kind of extend it. But yeah, this fitting, you screwed in one thread and it just bottoms out. So I still don't have the trans temp going on in there, but I only ran like 4 passes Friday night. It was like 40 degrees out. I had like an hour in between passes. Saturday, I only made 2 hits. Same thing, had like an hour in between the 2 hits. So I wasn't too worried about it, and I kind of knew that weekend would be okay. But as we progress like through next year, because this year we have Streetcar Takeover, haven't really found much for December, and then I've got the private track rental in January. And at those two, at this weekend and that weekend, like I can kind of take my time. It's no rush. It's more of like when you're dual entered, kind of like what Joe does, and you're running all over the place and the trans is getting hot. He's running his car way hotter than I run mine because his car is just, it's asking for so much more. It's more taxing on his system, so his car gets a lot hotter than mine does at the moment. But hopefully I'm gonna get to that point, and when I get to that point, I have to have this trans temp on there because I gotta be watching that stuff. I don't wanna ruin the trans just for me being negligent. So trying to get this figured out. I do have an adapter on the way. It should help fix that sensor problem. Other than that, I hooked up the Omega boost box to the Lund gauge, and it was working in the gauge, but for some reason when I went to log it, it didn't work. So I got to mess with a couple things like that because we need to see what's happening with the boost. I'm still having boost controller issues. So we spoke with Lund, and Joe mentioned it in the log too when he looked at it. Huge shout out to Joe. I was sending him logs Friday night, and he was super responsive, helping me out. But essentially, when I would hit the scramble, the car would overboost, and when the car overboosts, it puts it on a fail-safe, sends you back to wastegate pressure, and then brings you back to what the scramble was set at. So we had the scramble set like around 15 PSI. We had the overboost even bumped up to like 17 and a half. Usually you only do it like about 10% over, which would be like 1.5 pounds of boost, give or take. So we upped the overboost just to kind of see if it would still overboost, and the controller is still overboosting. So I read that with that boost controller, sometimes it has to do with the gain on it. So I turned the gain down a little bit, but I won't be able to really play with it until this weekend. So hopefully on Friday, we can do some test and tune passes, and we can try and figure out this boost controller. But I did order a CO2 system from Motion Raceworks. Huge shout out to those guys. Make sure you check them out, motionraceworks.com. But I am going to switch the car completely over to CO2, and what that will enable me to do is have way better boost pressure and way more consistent boost pressure. The only thing is I'll have to make sure the CO2 is filled up, but Joe said like his CO2 has lasted him a year and hasn't had to fill it up. So, and then the other good thing, shut up, cupcake. The other good thing is that I can hook an air shifter off of the CO2, and so everything will be set up to be run off CO2 for the future, because we do plan on still going to an air shifter. But I think there's a lot of other things I need first. Like the air shifter would be cool. I won't have to worry about shifting, but I'm pretty used to shifting now. Like I'm pretty confident with it, and the shifts are they're not right at 7,500, which is good because I don't want to shift at 7,500 because that might send the rods through the block. Hey, we're YouTubing, bro. So, but I've been looking at the shifts on the log and they look really good. So the shifting is not a problem. Obviously we'd pick up some time with using an air shifter and it would just make it that much more consistent. But I need to fix like the boost controller issues. That's a huge problem right now because we still haven't got the car. We want to try doing the car like 16, 17, 18 pounds of boost, but we can't even get the car to hit 15 pounds of boost and stay at 15 pounds. So the car definitely has a lot more in it. We just need to get these little issues figured out. All right, guys, so I'm headed to go get my workout in. Here's an update on the, I know everyone always wants to know about my Banging Monsters. Banging Monsters, that's weird. The Bang energy drink and Monster energy drink, two separate things, people. Anyways, I haven't drank one since Sunday. I'm going on this thing with no energy drinks. However, I'm still taking caffeine because, so I used to work out at night and then I got tired of doing that. Someone honking, who's honking? So I got tired of that. So now I'm back to working out in the mornings, which means I get to take pre-workout, and I love taking pre-workout. It's only got like 200 milligrams of caffeine in it, but that's enough to keep me lit through the whole day. So I'm trying to just take that and then no monsters, no Bang energies, none of that. We'll see how it works out. I'm gonna go get a workout in. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. As always, make sure you smash that thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, comment down below. Let me know if you guys know of any good trickle chargers for the Odyssey PC680 battery, and hopefully I'll see you guys this week in Oklahoma City.